What are the chances of someone escaping from prison? I believe not much. What are the possibilities of successfully escaping a maximum security facility twice while avoiding detection for more than 10 years? Now, isn't that practically impossible? What does El Chapo's prison cell look like? Let's find out. Number 1. The El Chapo. Joaquin Archivaldo Guzman Loera, better known by his alias El Chapo, was a Mexican drug lord and a former top official of the Sinaloa Cartel, a global criminal organization. He was born on April 4, 1957. One of the most powerful drug traffickers in the history of the planet, he's thought to have been. Guzman was born in Sinaloa, where he was raised by a poor farmer family. His father beat him physically, and he got involved in the drug business by working with him as his father's helper when he was a young adult, growing marijuana for local dealers. Number 2. El Chapo's first cell. El Chapo would host parties in his cell and do business outside of the Mexican maximum security jail of Puente Grande. It was obvious that El Chapo's threats were not taken seriously in this location. El Chapo wanted to return to the carefree way of life he had when he was not in prison, even though he was living a luxurious life in Puente Grande. El Chapo sneaked out of Puente Grande in a laundry basket in 2001 to return to the outside world. For more than 10 years, El Chapo reigned in mayhem and trafficked drugs before he was apprehended again in 2014. He was transferred to Altiplano prison this time, which was supposedly more secure than the previous prison. Number 3. El Chapo's escape. El Chapo had restricted access to his cartel and the outside world in Altiplano, where he was not permitted to have parties. He therefore took the only action he could. He managed to go away again. This time, El Chapo had his men cut a hole in the shower floor of his cell and build a tunnel beneath the prison. El Chapo rode a motorcycle waiting for him in a tunnel a mile underground to a residence outside the prison, where he made his getaway by the time the guards understood what was going on. El Chapo escaped from the prison by descending a ladder and hopping on a motorcycle waiting for him in the tunnel. Following his third and final arrest by Mexican authorities in a valiant raid in 2015, El Chapo would be permanently imprisoned. El Chapo was under constant guard and observation by the Mexican government. Then, the drug boss experienced the worst-case scenario. He was made aware that he'll be returned to the US. El Chapo was taken to the United States and imprisoned in a facility with the highest security while he awaits trial on 10 counts of drug trafficking, money laundering, and the use of a firearm in a criminal crime. He was charged and found guilty. Number 4. El Chapo's current cell. El Chapo moved to his current residence at the Administrative Maximum U.S. Penitentiary, or ADX, in Florence, Colorado, on July 19, 2019. He received a sentence of life in prison plus 30 years. He now spends 23 hours per day in his escape-proof cage. What about the cell, though? What options are there for El Chapo to pass the time? Not much is the quick response. Alcatraz of the Rockies is how some refer to ADX Florence. In 1994, the prison officially opened. Because of how ADX Florence was built and the safety precautions that were put in place from the beginning, no one has ever managed to escape. The fact that no successful escapes have taken place is largely due to the cells. El Chapo's cell is one of the prison's most guarded wings, and he feels anything but at ease there. Number 5. Inside El Chapo's cell. The room's walls, ceiling, and floor are all made of concrete and measure 7 feet by 12 feet in size. The cell is separated from the halls by not one, but 2 doors. El Chapo sits in his cell staring at the entrance, which consists of an exterior door made of solid metal and an internal door with bars. This emphasizes the idea of isolation and makes sure El Chapo understands that, except for the daily hour of relaxation, he is confined to his cell. Even eating in his cell is denied to El Chapo. Before the outer door is once more sealed, all food is brought through the barred inner door. El Chapo can sit at a sturdy concrete table, although it's not enough to fit the meal tray. There is no way for him to move anything because everything is fixed in place and made of solid concrete, including the table that serves as both a desk and a stool. A reward for good behavior is a shelf with a radio and a black and white television set close to the modest desk. El Chapo won't be watching any of the latest documentaries or series on streaming sites that have been produced about his life because the only television programming available is for recreational, religion, and education. A tiny mattress is placed on a concrete slab inside the cell. El Chapo's bed is here. It's not designed to be cozy. The bed is attached to the wall and is made of concrete like the rest of the room. Although it is just big enough for him to lie on, El Chapo is unable to spread out much due to its size. El Chapo has just one window in his cell. It's more of a slit in the concrete wall than a window because it's 42 inches tall and 4 inches wide. A small patch of sky and the gloomy grey jail roof may be seen through the gap. The window is constructed in this manner so that ADX Florence inmates will never know precisely which area of the jail they're in. In this manner, there's no possibility of them letting their friends know where to find them in the event of a break-in. Number 6. The soundproof cell. Because the cells themselves are soundproof, prisoners are unable to communicate with any other prisoners. Additionally, it prevents the prisoners from knowing when and where the guards are in the prison at any given moment. The way the cells are built guarantees that banging or tapping on the walls won't produce any noise outside of the space. This is done to stop inmates from utilizing Morse code to communicate with one another. If El Chapo is kept in his cell for 23 hours a day, you might be asking where he uses the restroom. The bathroom and shower are built into the cell's walls and floor. This saves El Chapo from having to go to a shower or restroom and allows him to maintain his hygiene. To avoid any flooding in the cell, the shower is secluded. Moreover, this was done to prevent prisoners from self-drowning. El Chapo's cell has just one light, which the guards are in charge of turning on and off. In actuality, the guards have complete control over the electricity to every appliance in the cell. El Chapo's only option if it's pitch black outside is to stare into the gloomy silence. The guards cut the electricity so there's no TV, radio or lighting. Number 7. Outsiders and the torture. No phones are permitted inside the cell, but if El Chapo behaves well and complies with the rules, he'll ultimately be able to have visits from outside. A large glass pane will divide him from any visitors. El Chapo appears to be making cautious progress toward the prison cell. He was accustomed to living in comfort and having complete freedom. In ADX Florence, there are no events. El Chapo has no method to communicate with the other gang members. Like all of the fixtures in the cell, he's stuck there. Even El Chapo has admitted that living in his cell at ADX Florence has been torture, and the most horrible condition I've ever lived in. Torture on a physical, emotional and mental level has occurred. El Chapo is not having fun in jail this time. Nevertheless, certain human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, have questioned ADX Florence's procedures and layout. According to them, placing mentally unwell convicts in such a remote location is tantamount to mental torture. Although it is common knowledge that prisons should not be pleasant or comfortable, the fact that ADX Florence's facilities border on becoming torture chambers raises concerns about its methods. Even though El Chapo has committed terrible crimes throughout his life, we are sure that his prison cell is not the most pleasant place to serve a life sentence. Thanks for watching the video till the end. If you liked the video, make sure to press the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Let us know in the comment section what our next video should be about. Take care of yourselves and we'll see you in the next one.